Hello, I'm Charles Bradley. I'm a professional Scrum Trainer with Scrum.org. I'm also the Agile Coach in Chief for AgileSoftwareTraining.com. Today, we're going to talk about doing product backlog refinement at scale, specifically using frameworks like Large-Scale Scrum or Nexus, Scaled Professional Scrum. One of the things that a lot of our students ask us is, how can one product owner possibly handle the product backlog management for up to, say, 9 teams? One Nexus is 3 to 9 teams. So how can one product owner possibly manage that? I think the first thing to recognize is that it used to be that we assigned all product backlog management duties to the product owner. Well, now it's actually sort of split. The product owner still owns the decisions and the vision of the product backlog, but now the teams can actually help create the product backlog items, to document them, to communicate them, whatever. So the Scrum Guide was changed a few years back to reflect that and to enable for this kind of scaling. You definitely don't want your product owner involved too much in the deep details when they have to support 9 teams. That's really difficult to do. So what we're going to talk about today is how you can create this sort of multi-level refinement activities for your teams and allow the product owner to be able to still service up to 9 teams. So the first thing you have to remember is that you need some sort of multi-level process. It's not a one-size-fits-all level refinement. So for instance, let's say you've got a 2-week sprint and you might have, say, 3 refinement sessions in that 2 weeks for any given set of teams, up to 9 teams. In the first session, what you're probably going to do is you'll actually have the PO at that session. The product owner will then work with representatives from the other teams, maybe not all the teams, but just 1 or 2 reps from each team. And what they will do is they will look at decomposing the items to fit into a sprint. So the PO is there helping them decompose. So we'll say the product owner plus, we'll call them dev team reps. Okay? So they'll decompose, they'll do selection, meaning deciding which team is going to work on which items. And obviously, because we support self-organization, that means the teams choose which work they want off the product backlog. The product owner can help give some guidance there, but really the development team has the last say on which items they select. And then once we've selected items, we need to do a visual diagnosis of dependencies. And it's really important that this be visual. We teach techniques in our Scaled Professional Scrum course on how to visualize the dependencies across teams to optimize for releasable increment at the end of each sprint. So that's the sort of first meeting you might have in your sprint. But then you might have 2 more meetings inside the sprint of what I'll call team level refinement. In this case, the product owner is probably not there. Instead, you have your dev team reps. You might even have your full dev team here. It's kind of up to you how you want to do this. I tend to recommend full team refinement myself, just so that way we only have to explain things once. So you might have 2 sessions of this during your sprint. And the purpose of this is we've already selected and decomposed and dealt with the dependencies. Now we have to understand the guts of that particular requirement. So acceptance criteria, what defines success for that particular product backlog item. And so the teams will actually do this. Now, one of the things that can make this successful is having the teams meet directly with the key stakeholders. So it used to be that we would think of the product owner, some people would think of the product owner as a proxy between the development team and the stakeholders. But in a scaled environment, the only way to scale is to actually allow your team members to talk directly to key stakeholders to understand the details of requirements. Now, once this occurs, we need to have some way to provide visibility back to our product owner. So usually this doesn't occur in a meeting. It usually occurs via a document or a Scrum tool. And so the team says, okay, we fleshed out the details of these product backlog items. Now let's make sure our product owner is okay with them. And usually there's a few tweaks after that. But that's essentially how you deal with multi-level refinement in a scaled environment to do Scrum. So I know we covered a lot in a very short amount of time. But you can find out more information by reading the Nexus Guide. It's only about 15 pages, and it talks about multiple levels of refinement in Nexus, a scaled Scrum approach. You can also attend one of our Scaled Professional Scrum courses that the PSTs here at Scrum.org teach. And I guess the last thing is you can always call me So contact me. You can find me at agilesoftwaretraining.com. My name is Charles Bradley. I'm very easily found on the internet. You can contact me if you have questions about something like this.